So we decided, the hell with her. Why give her an excuse? Let's come. But I predicted then to my lawyers, this is complete bullshit because she got the opinion written already. This is a complete waste of money and a complete waste of time and a complete waste of legal fees because she has the opinion written already because she is a dishonest judge. The way she railroaded J6 people is a disgrace. She didn't think the sentences were enough. So she told the other judges they should give higher sentences. They should have had her removed from the bench when she did that. There's something unstable about that. You shouldn't be so damn concerned about their sentences that you go around to other judges. Because what? It's a movement sentence? We sentence people individually, Judge. That's our jurisprudence. You're kind of using Soviet and Nazi jurisprudence. Then the trial she gave me on my $148 million verdict is a disgrace, and it wasn't a trial. It was a proceeding, once again, that a Soviet, Nazi, or Venezuelan judge would be very comfortable with. Now, this one, see, we came there on time. She kept us waiting, made the big effort to come here. We came here. We were supposed to be 10:30. She was on the bench at 9:30. I say this because it's important. On the bench continually from 9:30 until about 1 when we got out in front of her. We argued before her for 3 hours. I testified. I walked down from the bench. The other lawyer got up, made a 5-minute closing argument. My lawyer got up, made a 5-minute closing argument. And without even the courtesy of taking a recess, she started reading the opinion.
Yeah, and it was clear. It was absolutely clear that was the case.
A half-hour opinion, which couldn't have been written today because she was on the bench today. She had to have written it before anybody testified, before she heard any argument.
Oh, yeah. And
her mind was made up before I even showed up. What the hell am I showing up for?
As Gottlieb,
and tell me that isn't a violation of due process.
There isn't any due process in that. And as Gottlieb started to make certain arguments, you could see her coaching him to kind of avoid that, because
she probably liked him.
I didn't put that in that authority, that particular authority, in the opinion that I already drafted for this proceeding.
This is a Biden-sponsored lawsuit. How do you miss it? Gottlieb was Hunter Biden's partner. He was the lawyer for Burisma, the crooked Ukrainian company that bribed the Bidens, and that I uncovered. So they have an animus to me that's tremendous. Well, we had a hell of a coincidence that he's the guy coming after me for nothing, right?
It has to be a hell of a coincidence.
Now they want me to pay legal fees. I thought they didn't pay legal fees.
Well, he's going to need those legal fees. I got to say, I think that there's going to be some uncovering.
He did it for nothing out of the goodness of his heart, not to get even for Hunter Biden, who was his partner, or for Burisma, which was the crooked organized crime company that he represented that I uncovered, or for Wilkie Farr, which is a Biden cabal law firm from top to bottom. This is a disgrace. But the worst of all was her it's like, insulting is too mild a word, but it is insulting. It's like, we're not even going to consider your testimony.
Mm-hmm. It was so apparent. It was so apparent.
I had this one figured out before you showed up, jackass.
Yep. And that was funny too, because when your counsel tried to enter some persuasive authority, she's like, oh, no, I don't want to have to go back into the opinion that I already drafted to address your persuasive authority. I'm just going to reject that. And that might be a little too dense for, the average casual viewer, but it was an atrocious, I don't even want to call it a proceeding, to be honest with you. And she grinned when she grinned. And actually, I bet if we go into the J6, if we were in those hearings, she would have probably been smiling if she sent those people to jail. And she almost gets joy out of it. And you could see that, like, her lips were curling up as she was talking about the opportunity.
Yeah, they're strange faces.
Yeah.
Faces. And then at the very end, I asked my lawyer to do it. Great lawyer, but he was too gentlemanly to do it. I'm not. I stood up and I said, Judge, did you write that opinion just now? And
She saw the media room.
I did. I said, I'm sorry. I just don't believe that.
Yeah.
We had to be the fastest typist in the West, right?
Is he being a liar?
Oh
He's
my
a damn
god.
lie right on the bench.
I've heard more lies than I can actually count coming out of her mouth,
But
honestly.
what she did is just outrageous. I think a judge should be removed who doesn't consider the arguments and writes the opinion before you show up and lies to you.
And basically tears up the Constitution right in front of you, telling you what you can and can't say. I thought this was
So
the
let me-
United States of America. It returns to it soon.
You saw me do this before I went out to testify, just because I knew she was going to do it. And I wanted to prove to people I know what a crook she is in advance. I wrote the following, what do we call that? Tweet now? What do we call this thing on X?
Post on X.
Post on X.
Thank you, Mr. Musk.
So this is 8 hours ago. This is before she displayed that she was a complete phony and had written the opinion yesterday before anybody testified. And therefore had a mind made up and was a completely biased judge. Judge Beryl Howell, the Obama appointee, who was so bloodthirsty that she's very disappointed with the sentences of the more than 1,000 J6 defendants, more of them convicted of misdemeanors than felonies. She is making us wait all day for her inevitable, highly prejudicial, usual biased decision. Like Judge Lyman in New York, whose detailed opinion was reached and written before I finished my last 3 hours of testimony, this decision was already obvious from her earlier opinion and her overall pathological hatred of all things Trump. The hearing is a hypocritical waste of time and a disgusting example of Biden lawfare. Howell and Lyman, if they were not so biased, would recuse themselves. Soon I'll reveal my real feelings about this.
Yeah. Wish we had this kind of predictive skills on the football games. We could make some money.
Yeah, I predicted it. I wondered if she'll surprise me. And then I looked at her face and I said, no.
No. She telegraphed everything. I'd love to play poker against her, man, because she does not hide it at all. She's grinning at the opportunity to like fulfill their corrupt Democrat agenda.
And she's actually improving and making arguments for the other side.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she knew what arguments would work because she wrote the opinion already, you know?
Right. Please argue this because I read it last night.
Because God started to go down a different trail of cases. And it's like, no, Mr. Golub, I think you want to actually argue these cases.
Because I have my opinion.
Yeah, it's already drafted, actually. It's going to save everyone a lot of time. I'm hungry. She actually said that a couple of times. I'm hungry. We're all hungry. She didn't give us a lunch. But
which means she had no time.
We don't get a lunch.
We were supposed to be out before lunch anyway. So
what it means is she had no time to write it today.
Yeah. What did she keep saying? I'm in trial, Mr. Giuliani.
And if she wrote it today, she had to write it this morning before she wrote it today.
Yeah. Well, obviously. Or yesterday. I mean, whenever she had time over the weekend, whatever.
Well, she wrote this opinion the day I showed up in court.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Because I was Donald Trump's lawyer.
Or whatever weird Democrat operation funding this whole thing probably has some comms people that put it all together for her. I mean, who knows?
Well, there is. There's a Democrat activist group that's funding this.
Oh, yeah. And a couple of them. I've been looking into it. So
there's a Democratic activist group that is funding this. Originally, Wilkie Farr was doing it pro bono.
Wilkie Farr is an arm of the corrupt Democrats at this point.
How many of their lawyers do they have in court?
They have a team. They have a team, and they actually, I will go ahead and call it out. They had far more lawyers in court today than they let on because a lot of the gallery was filled with these young associates from Wilkie Farr, and
they want to train them. They want to train them to be left-wing corrupt lawyers.
The definition of a swampy law firm, Democrat-controlled law firm.
That's right.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah, and I would consider, using this law firm. I really would. If you have any desire to straighten out the lawfare and the two-tier justice system, you can't be encouraging these people by paying them money.
Oh no, and they're going to have no foot to stand on.
Look what they did to poor Mike Lindell.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Lindell didn't do anything compared to what Wilkie Farr has done.
Oh yeah. And I think they are going to start hurting, honestly, because who does as it gets exposed, these corrupt practices, hey, Biden wins, they're on easy street, right? They've been doing his dirty
that's what
the whole time.
That's what they were counting on. But I mean, now elections should matter.
Yeah, they went all in on Biden, and that was a big mistake. Now they're gonna be exposed for the arm of the Democrat Party that they are, and no one's gonna want to hire anyone wanting to work in DC isn't gonna want to hire them. You're not gonna be able to effectively lobby the FCC with a Wilkie Farr attorney, you know, under a Trump administration, or any other of these this federal government they gave us. It's so darn huge, you know.
And
I don't want
this guy Gottlieb, who was Hunter Biden's partner, raises money for the activist groups that sue many Trump people, not just me. That's their mission in life. It's to sue Trump people.
good little scam,
which is actually intended to make it difficult for any Trump people to get a lawyer.
Yeah, we've seen
that, which I've had to deal with. Look, the lawyers I got, or the fourth lawyers I talked to, the first three lawyers here in the District of Columbia told me they would not appear before.
Yep.
Because she's so vicious.
Yep.
And
they
keep her on the bench.
Yeah.
So she can take people's rights away because of their political views. Right here in the nation's capital. And the rest of the court knows it. They all know that she's a bloodthirsty left wing, just loves putting the J6 people in jail. And even talked about putting me in jail.
Smiling the entire time.
Hoping like hell she can get me in jail. And now she's got a script she's written out that I have to repeat or she'll put me in jail.
What country are we in?
Oh, yeah, if you forgot that. She has a script that I have to repeat or she can hold me in contempt. I could use criminal penalties. Actually, it's unconstitutional, Judge, but keep going. We really want to get you reversed.
Oh, that's gonna, well, and yeah.
Well, we have another day of travel ahead of us.
We do?
Oh, God.
Thanks to the useless trip that we made here, just to be told what we knew we were going to be told before we left, because she is a predictable, corrupt commodity.
That's right. So, next week will be our last week with Joe Biden in the White House.
Next week.
Next week.
Well, unfortunately, it's a bit of a week and a half, really.
I guess you're right.
It goes out on
the 20th is a Monday. Good. So next week's the last week.
Good.
One more Monday with this guy in the office.
And then a weekend.
And then, and an extra weekend. So,
let's pray the world is here.
I know, right?
A week from Monday. Let's pray the world is still here.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's got in store for us.
Right.
He and the first stepmother looked so upset yesterday. I must say.
Yeah.
I think he was annoyed that Obama was laughing with Trump.
Oh, sure.
Or they were annoyed at Kamala. There was that look back and forth between the first stepmother and Kamala.
Oh, I wish I was there. I would have loved to feel that tension.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There is between the first stepmother. I bet they don't put out any Christmas stockings for Kamala. They don't for Hope either.
Yeah. Navy.
Is that?
No, Navy, right?
That's okay. Joe doesn't know her name either.
Well, I don't have to know her name. She's not my granddaughter.
Yeah. You were closer. You got 4 letters.
I know my granddaughter's name is Grace.
So,
well, we're going to pray this weekend when you get some time, Saturday or Sunday, whichever is the day you do it. Or you should do it every day, but whatever is the holy day, right? We're going to pray for the people of Israel, who pretty soon are going to have, like they always have had in the past, until we've had this traitor in the White House, they'll have a president who supports them. And the people of Ukraine, who never had to die had Biden not be elected president, wouldn't have happened. You think of the consequences of an election and the consequences of their covering up the hard drive for Gottlieb's friend, Hunter Biden, right?
Yep.
You think of the consequences of that. How about 400,000 Ukrainians dead, 400,000 dead, which never would have happened if Trump had been in office. There isn't the slightest bit of doubt about that. Putin invaded 3 times under Bush, who didn't even shake hands with Trump yesterday, but he let Putin invade. under Prince Obama and under Biden. He missed one. It never would have happened. Just think of that. And it never would have happened if he didn't get all the people killed in Afghanistan. And they would never have died. There are consequences to voting for people for public office. It is not a game. It is not a joke. It's not a CNN, election night entertainment with, Anderson Cooper and Doopy Boopy and Miss Jean Green and whoever the hell they have on. It's deadly serious. People die when we have incompetent people in office. Take a look at Los Angeles. And people live when we have competent people in office. Well, pray for the people of Ukraine. Pray for the people of Iran. I believe they can be liberated in the next 2 to 3 years. I really do. You watch that. I know it always happens that these countries are liberated and we say, oh, we never thought it would happen. It's going to happen. All the elements are there. As you know, we've gone over it many times and we'll do it again in preparation for the new administration. And of course, let's thank God for getting us through, huh? And getting us right to the time when we can not just make our country great again, save our country, huh? Okay. So God bless America.